Welcome to Dr. Jae Francis YouTube channel. If you're immigrant or undocumented individual living in the United States, you may heard about the government's new focus on alien registration. Starting April 11, 2025, the Department of Homeland Security is rolling out a new process using the Form G-325R for this process. In this video, I will walk you through what this rule requires, who must register, and how the process works. Hi, I'm Attorney Jae Francis. I'm a U.S. immigration lawyer serving all 50 states. I want to be upfront from the start. This video is not intended to scare undocumented immigrants or criticize government policy. My only goal is to help you understand a new rule the government is now enforcing or about to enforce. I'm here to share the facts so that you can make informed decisions for yourself and for your family. Number one, what is alien registration and why now? On January 20, 2025, the day of inauguration, President Trump issued Executive Order 14159, protecting American people against invasion. This executive order directed Department of Homeland Security to fully enforce the alien registration laws under Section 262 of the Immigration and Naturalization Act. This section was actually created during World War II. You hear a lot about, the government regulation enacted 18th century, 20th century, and then Trump administration is trying to enforce what's on the book, the regulation. This law has been on the books for many years, as I explained. But this new order makes it a civil and criminal enforcement priority. So this government is enforcing now. Any foreign nationals who, number one, stay in the U.S. more than 30 days. And number two, have not registered with the immigration authority. And number three, has not fingerprinted, are required to register and fingerprinted. The fingerprinting is sort of optional. Some of you require, some of you aren't. So if required. For this process, the USCIS, a part of Department of Homeland Security, recently created a brand new form, a modification of existing form anyway. It's a Form G-325R, an online registration system for previously unregistered individuals. And this website, you probably have it or you need to do it. It's called My USCIS account. This form is designed especially for foreign nationals physically present in the U.S. for more than 30 days or more who never registered through visa issuance, inspection, or USCIS benefit applications. That's the summary. But what I'm going to do in following sections, I'm going to break them all to make it easy for you. Number two, Who must submit Form G-325R? You may need to repeat this section or video. You may need to watch it multiple times because it can be confusing. But I will do my best to present accurate and simple explanation of this new rule, or rather enforcement and new form and procedure. So you must register using the form, brand new one, G-325R if number one, you enter the U.S. without inspection and admission or parole, meaning that you cross the border without going through a port of entry. Usually, some people call them illegal aliens or illegal, entry into the U.S. Number two, this is surprising. If you're a Canadian visitor who entered the U.S. by land, you drove, right? And did not receive Form I-94 or other registration document, you need to submit this, because Canadian nationals, not the residents, the Canadian citizens, when they enter the U.S., they don't need a visa. So when they drove to enter the U.S., they're not giving any entry document. Now you need to register, but no fingerprinting for Canadians only. Canadians, citizens only. 3, you apply for immigration benefit like deferred action or TPS, but were never issued one of the registration documents listed in this regulation. To make it simple, it means that you don't have work permit, EAD document. So example would be those of you who only apply for military parole in place, you have a deferred action but doesn't have employment authorization. In contrast, if you're on DACA, you're dreamers, not only you have a deferred action, but you have a work permit. So you don't need to submit G-325R if you are dreamers or on DACA. Now, in addition to list of individuals, foreign individuals who enter the U.S. in certain way, we need to discuss this requirement in terms of age difference, age requirement. So if you are older than 14, you need to do it yourself. So you need to create my USCIS account and submit G-325R on your own. But if you're younger than 14, then parents or legal guardian must register for you if this criteria that I explained up to this applies. So repeat one more time. If you're older than 14, you do it yourself. If you're younger than 14, parents or legal guardian must do. It means that regardless of age, all of you who meet this above criteria must register according to government mandate. Number 3, who does not need to register again? So, what are the exceptions? I'm going to list what the government shared to the public. You're considered already registered if you are permanent resident, whether conditional or permanent resident. You enter the U.S. with a visa, valid visa, right? It can be H-1B or B-2 or F-1. Or issue I-94 or I-94W. I-94W is for those who enter the ESTA. Even if, this is critical, even if the period of admission has expired. So it means that if you enter with a visa, valid visa, overstay, right? Past your designated admission period, then you don't need to register. We're just talking about for the sake of not registering again, right? We're not talking about something else. Your parole into the U.S. under Immigration Naturalization Act, Section 212D5. We're not talking about all parole. INA, Section 212D5. But this is important. Even if the period of parole has expired. So example would be those of you who enter with humanitarian parole would be example of this. Now, also, you apply for lawful permanent residence using Form I-45 and provided fingerprints unless waived. Even if, this is important, even if your 45 application was denied. Also, you are placed into removal proceedings. You have an NTA, notice to appear. Or, this applies to so many people. You have employment authorization document. Many people call it work permit. Then you don't need to register again. If you already completed one of these processes that I explained so far, USCIS likely has your registration on file. And you do not need to submit Form G-325R again. Good news. Number 4, how to register online with a Form G-325A. I'm sharing this following procedure based upon what USCIS has shared with the public as of today. So it means that it may change, but not likely. But I just wanted to give you a disclaimer that I'm just telling you what you need to do based upon what is available at USCIS website. The starting point is to create USCIS online account, and it's called My USCIS account, right? my.uscis.gov. Each person who needs to register must have their own account, even minors. So it means that if you are 13 years old, then you need your own account. Your parents not able to use their account for you. If you're registering on behalf of child under 14, like I said, the parent must create account in the child's name. So critical. Each individual must have My USCIS account. So starting point. Then you submit the Form G-325R electronically through your USCIS account. The form cannot be submitted, this is critical, by mail or in person. So 100% online. And obviously you need to wait for USCIS review. Now, let's say you're worried. You'd like to see whether, you need to register even though you enter the U.S. with a visa and perhaps overstay. So if you, submit your G-325R, then more likely the USCIS will find that you already registered. So then they will potentially inform you that you don't need to take any further action. I mean, that's the plan. We'll see whether it'll happen that way. Once again, I'm not USCIS. I'm just sharing what the government has told us so far. Then not all of you, but most of you will attend a biometrics appointment if required. If the USCIS determines that you haven't previously provided the fingerprints, then you'll be scheduled for a biometrics appointment at a local application support center. Based upon current information, there is no biometrics appointment fee. So this process, based upon available information, supposed to be free of charge. no cost to do this. When everything's done, then you will receive a proof of registration. USCIS will upload a registration confirmation to your online account. So once again, USCIS will not mail any notice to you. It'll be uploaded to your My USCIS account. You'll be able to download it, print a copy of the official notice. So do not expect that you're going to get official, proof or document from government via mail. Number 5, what if you don't register or fingerprint or fail to carry a registration proof? So far, I talked about why this is required and what you need to do. But let's talk about consequences of not complying with this new requirement. If you are required to register and you don't submit the Form G-325R, or if you fail to show up for required biometrics appointment, you could face the following, according to government regulation. They said they're going to enforce this. So number 1, criminal charge, misdemeanor charge. The government, if they find you, then you will be charged for misdemeanor. That's a criminal charge. Now, after legal proceeding, if you found convicted, right? If you're found convicted, it means that you didn't do this, you're required but you didn't do it, or failed to show up biometrics appointment, then government may impose monetary fines up to 5,000, or jail time of 6 months, or it can be both. That's the maximum sentence. Now, let's talk about the minor in the case of children. For parents or guardians, failing to register a child when required can result in the same penalties. So this is for almost everyone who have to register and fingerprint it if required. Now, let's switch to the requirement to carry a registration proof. This is a little bit different than what I talked so far because the age requirement is different. So I'll pause, listen carefully. This is about who need to carry a proof of registration. By law, anyone age 18 or older, we're not talking 14, 18 or older, who registers using G-325R or who is otherwise required to register under the Immigration Naturalization Act must carry the proof of registration with them at all times. So for example, if you are a permanent resident, you need to carry a permanent resident card, right? If you have a work permit, EAD, you need to carry that with you. So that's what they're telling. So not only those who need to comply with this new registration, those of you who already entered the US, right? And then didn't have to register because you enter with a visa once again, I-94, you have a NTA, right? You're in remote proceeding, you have an EAD. You need to provide and carry the registration proof otherwise. Okay, so it's not through G-325A, but it can be a permanent residency card, EAD card. They are most common ones. Failure to do so is a misdemeanor and can result in a fine up to 5,000 again, or 30 days in jail, or both for each offense. So if you're caught once, right, the maximum, and then this is different than failure to register and then fingerprinted, because failure to register and fingerprinted, and then if the government wants to fine you, right, or put you into jail, there should be legal proceeding of criminal charge and conviction. But in terms of failure to carry registration proof, I don't think that based upon their discrimination, it may be their like legal proceeding, but they may impose a fine and put you into jail right away. So that's something that needs to be clarified by the government. But at this point, just you need to be careful. Number 6, what Form G-325R does not do. You also need to be careful that this new forms and registration doesn't give you any protection or benefits. So submitting Form G-325R and receiving proof of registration does not give you legal immigration status. So to be specific, it does not grant any work authorization. It does not provide or prove lawful presence in the U.S. It does not stop deportation. It does not qualify you for benefits under other immigration programs. So just be aware, it doesn't create any additional benefits or protections. Number 7, so far, I walk you through this new requirement process and consequences of not complying with the requirement. But I also want to acknowledge the concern some people may have about submitting personal information to U.S. government. I try to present balanced account on this requirement. By registering with a Form G-325R, you are providing voluntarily government with your biographic and potentially biometric information, fingerprinting, right? Fingerprints. While this information was not used to target undocumented immigrants without criminal records or final removal orders under the past administration, there is no guarantee that future or current administration won't use this data to enforce for enforcement purposes. The government has not stated whether information submitted through this registration process will or will not be used for deportation. This is a key point, right? So we don't know. They're not telling us. As of now, the stated purpose is to fulfill regulation established during World War II. And the name of the act is Smith's Act of 1940. They're saying that they're just enforcing it now. I haven't done so for quite some time, but they're doing now. But it's important to understand that once your data is submitted, it becomes a part of DHS records. This is similar to what the government is trying to do now, right? They like to have access to IRS account, other agencies that who may have information about undocumented immigrants. Now, this is not meant to discourage you. That's not the point. Once again, I'm not trying to scare you or criticize the government. That's not the intent of this video. But wanted to help you make informed decision. If you have concerns about exposure or enforcement risk, you probably need to speak with experienced immigration attorney before proceeding. This was a difficult topic, but thank you so much for watching this. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. But be courteous to each other when you comment, because once again, this is a difficult topic. Thank you for watching this video. Peace be with you.